the psychological abuse of somebody taking away your reality and you're allowing that to happen was far worse than beating someone up, than having black and blue marks.
Hi, I'm Lily Cornell Silver, and welcome back to Mind Wide Open, my mental health focused interview series. Today, I am talking to Dr. Robin Stern, who is the Associate Director of the Yale Center for Emotional Intelligence and a professor at the Child Study Center at Yale University. She is also a colleague of Dr. Mark Brackett from my second interview. She is also the author of the book, The Gaslight Effect, and today we're going to be talking about what gaslighting is, how to deal with it, and how it impacts your mental health. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here, Robin. I'm so excited to talk to you. The gaslight effect is something that has been very relevant in my life and something that almost everyone I know has experienced. So I'm super excited to talk about it and to hear your expertise. So you are the author of the book, The Gaslight Effect, which I have right here.
Yay.
Little book
Thank
club.
you. Uh-huh.
And as I said, gaslighting is something that I think everyone experiences to a varying degree, at some point, but most people, including me, up until recently, don't necessarily know exactly what it looks like or what the signs are. So let's just start off. How do you define gaslighting?
So gaslighting is it's a form of manipulation, a form of psychological abuse, where the gaslighter is seeking to sow seeds of doubt in the mind of the target of the gaslightee. Right. So causing someone with intent to cause someone to second guess their reality, their character, their perceptions.
And when you phrase it that way, it sounds very familiar, but it also sounds like very intense, So do people always know when they're doing it, or can you kind of gaslight subconsciously?
People don't always know. Gaslighters are not born gaslighters.
Right.
It's a socially learned skill set, if you will. It's a socially learned way of controlling the moment, of people righting themselves when they feel uncomfortable, and of controlling the other person, of getting that other person to basically stay attached to them, stay in the conversation, at the same time second guessing their reality and their sanity and their perception.
Totally. Where does that term originate, the term gaslight?
So in 1944, there was this wonderful movie called Gaslight. A diabolical guy is gaslighting his innocent and loving wife. He has to convince her that she's crazy so that she gets taken away to a mental institution and he can forage around in the attic and find the jewels that he's looking for.
Right.
And the way he does that is by telling her that she is, for example, forgetful. And she says, "Don't be silly. Of course I'm not forgetful." And then he steals something from her and he says, "Paula, where is that brooch that I gave you?" And she looks for it, knowing where she put it. But of course, it's not there anymore because he stole it. And then she begins to buy into the way he sees her. And then she begins to say, "You're right, Gregory. I'm very forgetful. Maybe I'm just too tired." And then she goes into what I call stage 2 of gaslighting, where she's defending herself over and over again. "But I didn't mean to. I'm really not like that. I'm just tired right now."
Right.
And then they're on their way to spiraling into her depression, which is where the last chapter of the movie, when she's depressed and then ultimately finds out she's been gaslighted. But what was really interesting to me is as I was watching that movie and I saw her devolve over time, I recognized that same thing had happened to many of my patients over and over again. And many of the strong women I knew who were otherwise very confident. And if somebody met them on the street, they would think, "Boy, that person has it all together." And yet, in this dynamic where one person has power, a very important definition, a part of the definition of gaslighting that I believe I left out when I said it, that one person's more powerful, and in that powerful role convinces you because you idealize them, because you need them, because you've given them the power. If you watch the movie over and over, as I have, you realize that somewhere in her childhood, there was some vulnerability about that she developed a vulnerability to boundaries being fluid between what's real and what's not real. Because as she's moving away from her home, somebody is saying to her, just forget everything you saw. It's no matter. You just look forward. Right. And so it's very easy, for example, when somebody tells you you're just too sensitive or you're flirting or what's the matter with you? You don't know anything about finances, that you could, even if it hurts in the moment, and even if you're second guessing in the moment, you get past it and you forget it.
And just to circle back to your own experience, I'd love to hear more about how you got started on the path of researching gaslighting, or if there were any events that triggered, your wanting to know more about it.
I've been talking to a colleague and friend, Naomi Wolf. Then I was saying I had seen the movie Gaslight, and that seemed to me is exactly what was happening to many of our friends and many of my patients. And we were in a park at that moment, and a little boy was running through the park. He was chasing a ball that he and his father had been tossing around. And the ball, if I remember correctly, the ball like moved out of the park through a hole in the fence, and the little boy went to chase it. And the father started screaming at him, like, what's the matter with you? I told you, you're so clumsy. But you could see that little boy in that moment taking on all that negativity. And first trying to say, no, but I was just playing. Well, no, you were just being whatever it was. And I remember in that moment saying, no, he just redefined his reality for him.
Right.
And that is exactly what's happening. And Naomi and I turned to each other in that moment, and she said to me, you have to write that book.
Right. And something you write about in the book too is the person who's being gaslit becoming reliant upon the opinion of the person gaslighting them, or their self-image becoming reliant upon what the other person thinks of them.
Yes. And really important point. They can't stand it. Right. Like when you're in a gaslighting relationship, I remember in my first marriage, my then husband would tell me that when we had a disagreement, that there was something wrong with the way I was thinking about things. And I was an expert on gaslighting. So of course I knew, well, to give you an example, that he was always late. And so I would think, I don't have a problem with being late. He's just being disrespectful and isn't aware of it. But over time, he convinced me that that there really could be something wrong with what I was taught when I was a child about being on time. I couldn't stand it that he thought that of me.
Right.
It was a really hard piece to come to grips with. I'm just going to have to accept that he will never think I'm right, that he will never see it from my side, that he will always think that there's something wrong with me.
Yeah.
And that piece is really tough to hold on to.
So, I mean, as you're saying that, I'm coming up with multiple examples in my own life of how difficult it's been to let go of someone else's perception of me, especially in that gaslighting relationship where I've been gaslit in multiple different relationships in my life. And even now, it's very difficult to let go of caring what others think of you or how they perceive you. But it's definitely, a lifelong thing to let go of that and realize you don't have control over that.
Yeah. You don't have control over it, and actually you don't need it either.
I think especially within the adult-child relationship, as a child, you don't have the vocabulary or the necessarily the information to know that you're being gaslit. It's an adult that's supposed to be looking out for you and caring for you. So in that vein, is this something that happens only between intimate partners, or can it show up in a variety of different relationships?
Well, you said it. It can show up in a variety of relationships, and you don't recognize it when it's coming from someone who is supposed to be taking care of you and in charge of your growing up and loving you and having your best interest at heart. And sometimes your parents or the person who's parenting you or the adult in your life does have your best interest at heart. Sometimes, but they have learned to gaslight as a way of control. So if you might hear a parent saying to a child, come on, you're not hungry, you're tired. So lesson, don't trust, you don't know what you're feeling.
Totally.
You can't
Yeah.
really trust what you're feeling.
Yeah.
Or come on, you're so sensitive about that. But mom, you hurt my feelings. I think that was like a really mean thing you said. Oh, come on, you've got to be kidding me. That was mean.
Mm-hmm.
That was mean. Don't you think you're a little too sensitive? Maybe you're PMSing. Maybe you're PMSing. And now you can use the pandemic as an excuse to gaslight somebody. This is like, come on,
Totally.
this is
Yeah.
pandemic talking. Like this
Right.
is there's something really wrong with you. You've been confined too long. There's
Wow.
nothing
Yeah.
wrong with me. That I'm not doing anything. I'm just sitting here on my computer. Why are you so suspicious? It's the pandemic getting to you.
Right. That's so interesting. So I wanted to tie that in with what the effects of gaslighting can be on mental health, like with someone who's maybe predisposed to anxiety or depression or bipolar. How can gaslighting affect your mental health in that way?
When I was researching the book in 2007, I spoke to a lot of people who were working with women who were in crisis, women in battered shelters, battered
Mm-hmm.
women shelters. And they all said the same thing, that the psychological abuse of somebody taking away your reality and you're allowing that to happen was far worse than beating someone up, than having black and blue marks. Because when
Wow.
you have black and blue marks, you know that you can point your finger and say, that guy did that to me.
Mm-hmm.
But when
Right.
you have that, like when your self-esteem is torn and you're not that same person who walked into that relationship,
Right.
you don't know whose fault it is. And so you end up blaming yourself and feeling you're then in stage 3 gaslighting, just really feeling like there's something radically wrong with you.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
So to your point or to your question about mental health,
Mm-hmm.
it can definitely land you in depression and the emotional labor of being anxious all the time as you're going through the stages of gaslighting, of
Mm-hmm.
having to put on a happy face or
Mm-hmm.
a loving face or be accommodating when you're really terrified that you're about to be told that there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
You don't know how to think straight, or that you're forgetful, or that you're paranoid. You're dealing with that on your inside, while on your outside, you're trying to accommodate the person who's about to do that to you.
Right.
An insight that I've been talking a lot about over the last couple of days came from an article I read with an interview with a colleague, Heidi Brooks, at our Yale School of Management. She talked about the idea of double consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
And double consciousness, she was talking about it in relation to Black Americans feeling like they have to be in the head of their white counterparts all the time to match their perceptions. And I thought, my God, what an incredible term, because that is the way people in gaslighting relationships live. So you've been in those relationships, you know how hard we have to work
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
be in the shoes of the person doing the gaslighting, so that
Yeah.
you can manage what you're doing, because you have to look a certain way in their
Right.
perception.
And try to predict what the next move is going to be so that you can counteract it or somehow avoid it.
Exactly. Right, exactly. So that you can control the damage before it starts. So it's a very
Exactly.
preventionist model,
Yeah.
but you actually think of how exhausting it is, right? So when you are anxious and exhausted over time, completely leaves you depleted, completely
Yeah.
leaves you depressed. And
And wondering where you went wrong to allow that situation to happen.
right.
Yeah.
And feeling like you are that person who's completely screwed up or
Yeah.
completely paranoid or not deserving of a good relationship.
Right. That sounds so familiar. Unfortunately, it sounds
Sorry.
very,
Oh
very,
my
but no,
goodness.
but it's really powerful to hear you give name to that and explanation to that, because in my experiences with gaslighting, it does oftentimes come down to me feeling like, oh, I shouldn't have felt that way. So I've experienced a lot of that, being told that what I'm feeling is wrong or that I'm being too sensitive. It's, as I said earlier, it was very difficult to name because I was a child, and growing up in it, you think this is just how things are. This is how I'm supposed to be talked to. I went through much of my childhood feeling that way and realizing the effects of gaslighting.
Yeah. And when we are empathic,
Right.
What are we trained to do? We're trained to stand in the shoes of somebody else.
Right.
And so when you stand in the shoes of somebody else, you take the risk that both of you are in their shoes and nobody's standing in yours.
Right. Nobody's in your corner.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And so it's easy to take on the other person's perception. And when it happens over and over again, you forget that essential part of empathy. You have to come back to your own.
And also, reading your work and reading The Gaslight Effect and providing vocabulary to myself and understanding to myself of what the situation is such a game changer in that regard, especially when it comes to gaslighting, is being able to, you can't, you need to be able to understand it, to name it. And once you do, there's so much power in that because you can see, oh, this is what's happening. I'm not crazy. They don't have this power over me and I don't need to rely on how they perceive me.
You knew there was something wrong. You just didn't know what to call it, right?
Yeah.
And so people who read my book over the years have said pretty much that to me. Like I just knew I wasn't crazy.
A lot of the time there are things that you can't escape. You can't just escape this society that we're living in, or you maybe can't escape like a parent-child relationship or something like that.
When one of the things that I thought a lot about during the Me Too movement was that people felt called to speak out, in my opinion, to reclaim their reality.
Yeah, right.
That it really was a moment where powerful men said, doesn't matter, it's unimportant, don't tell anyone, or tell people, but it's like no big deal. What are you making such a big deal about?
Right.
And then all of a sudden, people began to say, this was a big deal. This was wrong, and you can speak.
Yeah.
And so I think that there was truth telling that was so important, but also that knowing that you were speaking truth and that you knew that you were violated or degraded or taken advantage of all along, and having that validated is so important. So I would say the first tool is like self-awareness, really spending some time pausing, turning off the noise of the outside world and spending some time with yourself and thinking about, am I okay? So when it's a parent or a relative who's constantly gaslighting you, you can set a limit. Maybe it's painful to say, I'm sorry, I'll see you on Thanksgiving when it's July,
Yeah.
But maybe you have to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, there are going to be people in your life with whom you say things like that, and then they continue to gaslight you. So if that's the case, you may just have to breathe and use that cognitive strategies of emotional intelligence and self-talk, positive self-talk. I can get through this. It's going to be okay. I know what the truth is. Or reframing. Okay, he's just manipulating me here, but I'm going to be okay. Or this is a lesson for me to learn. This is my teacher. This moment is my teacher. What am I learning here?
I mean, I think having like a therapist or that third party person, like my mom has been someone who's been really vital for me in that regard, as somebody who can fortify you, and say, no matter what this person is telling you or trying to manipulate you into believing, or no matter how they're emotionally abusing you, you can trust yourself and you can trust your gut. And I feel like a lot of the time it takes that third party to let you know you're not going insane.
When you asked the question earlier about mental health, when you're in a gaslighting relationship and you're at the point where you are so bought into that dynamic, and you're dancing what I called in my book the gaslight tango, and then the person leaves you, it can really catapult you into a depression, because
absolutely
not only are you screwing up when you're actually interacting, but you're also not even good enough for the person to stay around for.
Do you have like any, just like a specific list of like tangible things, like what to look for if somebody is gaslighting you?
So we've been talking about them throughout the program.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm asking you, if you were avoiding me and you're telling me paranoid.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm paranoid, but that doesn't mean you weren't avoiding me. So can you answer the question?
Yeah. Totally.
And so watching that behavior, and somebody who is an intimidator kind of gaslighter will definitely be angrier, will be putting
Mhm.
you down, might be cursing, might be
Mhm.
yelling, trying to scare you, trying to threaten you.
Mhm.
Somebody who is a good guy gaslighter may just um, always have a pleasant tone,
Yeah.
really like raking you over the coals in the most pleasant way,
Yeah.
right? The good guy gaslighter.
Yeah.
And for the
Totally agree.
glamour gaslighter, that person who is often recognized in a cycle of abuse where you just feel shattered because he just told you that there was something wrong with you and
Mhm.
he knows it, you know it, and then the next day he comes home with flowers.
For me, that's been gaslit from, a very young age. It's been gaslit as a child into young adulthood. I definitely, my coping strategies became, just like don't cause any trouble, keep
Yeah.
my feelings pressed down so that it won't, initiate any sort of attack or leave me vulnerable to pain. And so having those kinds of difficult conversations is something that as I've grown up, I've learned a lot about and tried to strengthen that
Yeah.
muscle, of not just laying down and taking it if somebody is gaslighting me or emotionally abusing me, to be able to have those uncomfortable conversations and to create boundaries and cut people off if people need to be cut off.
One of the things that I said in my book that I really still like a lot, among other things, is that no is a whole sentence.
Yeah, that is very powerful. That is very powerful. That is, yeah, so true. So true. I would love to end on the note of what is something that's bringing you hope right now, Robin.
That we're having this conversation. That we're
Beautiful.
having this conversation, and that there are young people like yourself, maybe you're leading the charge of young women in particular, who are standing up for your reality and giving yourself the permission to feel and with the courage to say your truth
Yeah.
and want everyone to have lives that are gaslight free.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. That means a lot to me. I admire you and your work so much, and you've definitely been a beacon of light for me, and helped me through so many of these situations. So thank you so much for being here, Robin. It really means the world to me.
Thank you for doing this. Really
Of
appreciate
course.
it and for having me. Look forward to more.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lily.